Now, should we touched on Carrie's deal, and I remember just having a look at the little video review that I did on that. I don't know how many years ago it was when she bought that, but I remember seeing it was 12.6% net return, and you helped to get into that deal. So where is she at now with it, and how's it been going with that?
So I just it's one of those, and I say one of those. There's been a few of them, but this because we talk about Carrie's, just the sweetest of deals. So she negotiated well. She negotiated very well on this, and God love her. English is not her first language. So she was very diligent in, we would have a conversation. She would go and stand in front of the mirror and repeat what she had to say until she was
Right.
confident with it, because she can talk quite fast, and because English is not her first language, all of a sudden she's spoken two languages all at once and has not had the clarity. So she was very conscious of, and just perfected what she needed to say. Off she'd go, and she negotiated exceptionally well with the valuer and had no idea. She was coming back, feeding back information to me, and I went, nah, who are you dealing with? Do you actually know who this is? Because this is not the vendor as such. And he may be the vendor, but this is not a normal vendor. So eventually she poked hard enough, and eventually we found out that he was he was a commercial valuer, and I could not stop laughing.
Oh,
I thought, my Lord, of all people to be up against on your first
yeah.
commercial negotiation, right? So she did exceptionally well. She stuck at it. We worked through the stages of where is neutral, what do I need to do to get to neutral, because she extended the settlement to enable her to make sure that she was never going to be in a negative situation. So she
How
has
much
just
money was it again? Yeah. What
she
price was that
she paid 706,000 for it.
for a
She was,
shopping centre?
yeah, for a shopping center, right, in a very very large regional area, and it's
Yeah.
got 12 shops. Okay.
Yeah. Amazing.
So she had only four tenants though when she shifted in,
Yeah.
and there were multiple different sizes and things. Nothing structurally wrong, but it just hadn't been loved or looked after. It just was what it was. So there was not a lot of great energy around it when she bought it. She was super excited and very proactive. So she did a lot of the work. She went up there and she met with council and she met the mayor, and she became best friends with these guys. So she is now the go-to person up there. Well, they will ring her and ask what's happening and can I bring people down to show this to, and what she's created there is incredible. So she worked very hard at getting the right tenant mix. We spoke about how
Yeah.
important it is in those areas, and you want longevity and you want good value. This is where you've got to put your time. You've got to be very conscious about what you're doing here and not get caught up in desperately taking on a tenant that doesn't work. So she was very diligent about that, and she got some great tenants in, and she still had one large space to lease out. And it really, because she was in such a good financial situation with it, so this she now had $100,000 net return coming in off it. So she was all right. She didn't have to worry. We worked out, what are you going to do with this space? It was an old supermarket. The layout of it was not ideal. It's not really big enough anymore. So what she's ended up doing is she bought in, based on the tenancies that she's already got. She's got a couple of specialist consultants coming in. And they were talking about cutting the supermarket up and having individual areas and what that looked like. And needless to say, off the back of that, one of her other tenancies, which is in a large space, needs more space. So they've
Right.
just renegotiated to shift them into the supermarket space, reconfigure it for them. So there are some sizable tenant incentives that go on there. And then the two specialists will go into the existing space that they're in, totally complete. So they will all be reconfigured and in their space with the actual physical work done, because there is some work to do inside the supermarket to fit
Yeah.
this out for tenants, which she agreed to based on the lease that she's charging, well over 200,000 a year.
Wow. Gosh. But and let's say
I
it
could
cost her a million. I mean,
just,
incredible.
just under $1 million with all the tenant incentives and everything that she does. She
Yeah.
was looking at, before all of this internal work, she was looking at about 850. This will take her up to just under the $1 million that she'll
Yeah.
spend in total, and she'll bring in over $200,000 net a year.
Wow. I mean,
right? Value uplift. So you're going to pull that worst case scenario. It's a large regional area. Sweet deal, good solid leases in place, nothing under 5 years. She'll pull worst case scenario a 7% cap rate on it. Right?
yeah,
Worst. And I said to her, I
exactly.
believe you'll get lower, but if you just work on that, your equity in that is just amazing.